Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. How's everybody doing? Good evening to every single one of you. God bless you all. It is 9:36 over here in the West Coast time. It is late at night. We have different topics that we wanted to discuss today, as it is an important day to discuss these topics. Talk about the Ireland situation, as the Ireland people are protesting right now against mass migration in Ireland. And ultimately, we are going to be talking about the new Panamanian president who wants to tackle illegal migration in the Darien Gap and wants to end the profiting of businesses, that this is has become an illicit economy, or an irregular economy. Illicit, I mentioned, economy in terms of the trafficking of humans. And ultimately, lastly, we will talk about first four surfers that they were killed. These Australian brothers, or Australian surfers, who traveled to Ensenada, were killed, assassinated, and in Ensenada. So it's early, 9:37. Uh, in the evening. Let's get it going. For every single one of you, join the live feed, share the live feed, comment on the bottom. Before I move on, buy me a coffee is right there, pin in the chat. If you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, it is much needed, people. We are people funded. We are not, funded by a big, gigantic, extreme extravaganza. We are funded by the people. So for us to continue to report and do these podcasts and do this live feed, and for me to travel, ultimately we need your support. So this happened in Ireland just some hours ago. Let me just share the screen right here for everybody to I will put some video on also. This is an article that it was written by the Daily Mail. And basically I will read the article for people to understand what it's going on in Ireland. So the people of Ireland have had it with mass migration. It says the Daily Mail, Monday, May 6th. Half of Irish population now want migrant checkpoints at the Northern Ireland border to slow asylum seekers' arrivals from Britain. Pool fines as anti-immigration protests take place in Dublin. So it says right here, and adds that I will just read a little bit. It says half of the Irish public now want migrant checkpoints at the border with Northern Ireland to slow the number of asylum seekers' arrival from Britain. A new poll has shown as anti-immigration protests are unleashed across Dublin. 50% of respondents told the Sunday Independent in Ireland thinks that they will support the checkpoint measures to limit the numbers of asylum seekers arriving from Britain, with 82% backing the deportations back to the UK. With tented communities continuing to grow in Dublin, as many as 40% of poll respondents added that they will support Ireland having a policy similar to Britain's Rwanda scheme, with 42% opposition of measures. So this reminds me, my God, this is so xenophobic, huh? The language of the libtards, the language barrier of the fence. It is that it's so conspiracy theory, creating hysteria, fear monger, all their language, white supremacy, white imperialist, xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronoun-phobic, fat-phobic, racist, fascist, narcissist, and bigot. All of them. I remember that President Trump wanted to put DNA testing on the borders to identify which were the parents, the real parents of the child, that the children were being, some of them, trafficked and abused by adults on fake families and fake matrimonies that they were made for people to accomplish the asylum and refugee as much quicker and much faster. It is documented and it is real. It is not a conspiracy theory, and it is not creating hysteria. And ultimately, it has been discovered. All of these are factual things. And now we are seeing that in Ireland, wow, we're having this situation now. Well, now the Ireland people are protesting and demanding that they want to stop mass migration. Ireland is a collaborator of the Global Compact on Migration. So, meanwhile, they are in the Global Compact, which I believe that they are collaborators of the Global Compact, or they are categorized as a third, as a secure country to transit. They don't want to be a secure country to transit anymore. They said that it's enough is enough, and they had enough. And they say that ultimately, they need to put checkpoints on Northern Ireland. It's crazy. The protests have been exacerbated and growing, has been growing all over the country. And as I will show some pictures right here, it says on the picture, it says Irish Lives Matter. It says Newtown says no. On the bottom, it says we want our country back, Ireland for the Irish. You see House of the Irish First right here. You see Stand Up for Your Kids. See a man says Irish Lives Matter. You see the encampments, that this is a regular conduct of asylum seekers every time that they place themselves on parks or, on places where the progressive mercenary activist, communist, socialist, liberal says to them where to park or where to stay, or an NGO. Ireland belongs to the Irish National Party of IE, Irish Freedom. These are migrant camps, migrant encampments. And ultimately, it has led for people to protest massively in Ireland against mass migration. This happened also with some problem that had happened with an assassination of somebody, aggravated as assault, and also the violent crimes that they have been occurring in Ireland. Give it a like to this video, share this video, like this video, share this video, like the video, share this video. Thank you so much, Barbara. Barbara SPA bought me a coffee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Buy me a coffee is right there on the bottom, so you can on the pin on the chat on YouTube. So you guys can go over there and and try to support as much as you can. Thank you so much. Ultimately for your support. So Ireland, it is putting a stop to it again. On this statement of the Daily Mail, they're saying that the majority of the population of Ireland, it is approving that they should have checkpoints for how many asylees and refugees are taking over every city of Ireland. So this will be a great place to visit to study what is going on with the mass migration in Ireland. I believe that I will mention this to my colleague Ben, so we can go over there and try to travel over there and see what's going on over there. I think that it's impressive. This is making news. And, it says right here that 50% of respondents told the Sunday Independent in Ireland thinks that they will support checkpoint measures to limit the number of asylum seekers arriving from Britain, with 82% backing deportations back to the UK. So it's a majority. It's the majority of Ireland. It is voting, for, the majority of the Irelands are voting for this mass deportations, and ultimately this checkpoints, open border policies, the global compact of migration. It's a complete disorder and destabilization of borders. That's what it is. And they use the most vulnerable, the migrants, for their own agenda and political agenda, so they can open up the borders and ultimately create this chaos and division, and then later on take over when the ideology of replacing the political parties by one. It is a reality. This is what is happening to the United States of America. You cannot deny me that the majority of the people that they're entering are Latino people, are going to be used later on to be voting for Democratic Party. They're not going to vote Republican. They're going to vote Democrat. So basically, it's a replacement of the new generation of the Democratic Party, adding to the progressive mercenary liberals and the youth that is growing sadly on the colleges of the United States of America, which they are protesting for pro-Hamas, pro-Hezbollah, and all this nonsense. It is just so perfectly and strategically well geographically. Is geopolitical strategy. It is well done. Well done. And Ireland has had enough. Let me put a video right here for people to try to watch what's going on. This video was from CBN, and this was the protest. We'll put a little bit of this video and for people to watch a little bit of the protest of the of what's going on in Ireland.
And the numbers are continuing to build up, and it comes amid the ongoing row with the British government over asylum seekers crossing the border to allegedly avoid deportation to Rwanda under Rishi Sunak.
So this is the actual situation, avoiding deportations to Rwanda. Nobody wants to get deported to Rwanda. It's actually going to happen at one point in the United States of America. Why? Because the United States of America is talking about mass deportations, whether it is Democrat or Republican. The other candidate, Kennedy, ultimately it's also talking about securing the border and also talking about deportations. So it is going to come to a point that in election times, who are the ones that they're going to be used to protest inside of the United States of America? Well, they're already using them, as I did a video a couple of days ago about how strategically they're using migrants, and not specifically just average migrant. They're using migrants who strategically know how to agitate. They're professional agitators. And 1,000 of these phones that they are giving out to migrants as soon as they're coming into the United States of America, 1,000 of them were identified and they were codified that they were located on the campuses of schools. Inside of the campuses of schools, what are these migrants doing? And these phones are doing inside of the campuses of schools. Logic. It's what I have been saying, and it's not a conspiracy theory. It was bound to happen, and now it is actually, happening. So this is the actual situation of what is going on in Ireland. Ireland putting checkpoints. Ireland wants checkpoints. Ireland wants to stop mass migration. Ireland wants to stop this. Ireland completely wants to stop mass migration, wants checkpoints, and wants to regulate migration inside of their country. And this is a continuance of the global compact of immigration that has not worked. It hasn't worked, and it's a compact that is completely disastrous. It is a compact that it has never worked. It is a compact that violates their own agreement. They said that you need to migrate correctly, documented, peacefully, secure, safely migration. And look what it is. It's the most unsafe migration. A lot of migrants are dying on their way to migrate from one country to another city to another. It's just, it's unrelentless. Somebody's asking what kind of phones? iPhones. Apparently they're giving out iPhones. Give it a like to the video, share the video. We've got almost 500 people. Come on, give it a like to the video, share the video. Another topic. This is crazy. And I will tell you why it is crazy. So yesterday was the elections of the new, who's going to be the new president. Look at this audio that I'm about to put. You can actually hear how the leftists, how the progressives, how the NGOs, the ones that they profit out of human misery, they want this to continue. So this candidate by the name of Molino was the former vice president of Panama in the past administration, two past administrations, with a former president that his name was Martinelli. Martinelli was persecuted because of corruption and all this kind of stuff. So he was on the run. This guy started running. He's the vice president. He's a right-wing political party. He's a right-wing president. And he won the elections. As soon as he started talking about that he wanted to close the Darien Gap, guess who's attacking him? Guess who started attacking him? Human Rights Watch. The same one that put out a 130-page manifesto or a 130-page information, whatever you want to call it, all lies about Center Front, all lies about what's happening inside the Darien. They have never walked the Darien Gap. They're only located on specific locations, attention locations, and ultimately leftist, progressive, mercenary, liberal outlets. They are all of them. They're attacking him because he wants to tackle illegal migration in the Darien Gap. So this guy became the president now. And one of his things is to bring the economy back to where it was, bring the Panamanian Canal to where it was. Ultimately, also, he wants to bring security to his country with the massive protests that happened with the minority. But one of the topics that he wants to tackle, it is to stop the mass migration through the Darien Gap, a thing that we have been preaching about and we have been yelling to the four winds, Ben Berquan, myself, in the campaign in Panama that is Darien is not a route. And we have been saying Darien is not a route. Darien is not a route. Every time that I go in there, 4 times on this place in the Darien Gap, walk this dangerous jungle. And we have said this is not a route. This is the deadliest route. And only the leftists, of course, the Democrats and the Biden administration, but only the leftist organizations, NGOs, they're profiting out of this. That is OIM, that is HIAS, Doctors Without Borders, the Human Rights Watch, and all these people are the ones that they are profiting out of human misery. So this guy comes out, the new president now, comes out and says before in his campaign he's going to tackle illegal migration. And guess what happens? Human Rights Watch saying that it's inhuman, that how are you going to, cut the road for people that they're in necessity and the most vulnerable and running from persecution. So these guys, they prefer these people to continue to walk the jungle, continue to risk their lives, continue to put money on traffickers instead of NGOs, these NGOs, OIM, ACNUR, United Nations, instead of exposing the human traffickers, the cartel of Clan del Golfo in Colombia, instead of exposing those routes, instead of trying to stop these people from going in and risking their lives and creating another pathway for them to get safer to another place, instead of that, they're promoting this route. It's what I have been saying to all of you. All of these NGOs, they are profiting out of human misery, and they do not want this to end because it is a business for them. Imagine regulating and normalizing this conduct, because now it has become an industry inside for the tribes in the Darien Gap. It has become an industry for the traffickers and the cartels. It has become an industry for these NGOs that we found the United Nations, giving OIM, giving out condoms and Plan B pills before they entered the jungle in Nicocli in Panama and Colombia. It's unbelievable. And now they're criticizing this man because this man actually wants to close the route, which immediately and inevitably they interviewed a guy that he's an expert in all of this, all of that. Oh, they're not going to close it. It doesn't even come to, it's not even going to happen. Why not? Why it cannot happen? Why? Because it's enormous business? Because the cartel is profiting and is making 300% out of trafficking? People are dying. People are being abused. Women are being raped. Children are suffering. Decomposed bodies I have found, robbing, stealing, all of it happens in the jungle. And then you're paying tourist packages in Nicocli in Colombia, which I don't see no NGO, Human Rights Watch, talking about it, $320, $340, $360 to take you all the way to the halfway of the Panamanian jungle and Las Banderas, going up the mountain of death. You don't go over there and expose that. Why? Because it will hit you on your shoe. It will hit you on your pocket. It will damage completely your making of money, and you cannot even going to continue. All of these NGOs live out of humanitarian crisis. They live out of human misery. They live out of humanitarian disaster. When the humanitarian disaster ends, what are you going to live out of? You need another humanitarian disaster, right? To go in there to promote and right? Because it has been years and years and years of you guys regulating people to walk through that jungle. Unbelievable. And now that a man wants to come in and says, you know what? Let's just try to close that thing, man. It's just undeniably has become a problem. It is a highly, situation where it's just a mass contamination and an economical warfare inside of the jungle. It's a disaster, an environmental disaster. which is causing this. Also, people are dying. Humans are suffering. Let's create another pathway. Let's see what we can do. Let's find another solution. Hell no, these NGOs say. Hell no. That is our pathway. That is our road. You're not going to close it. It's violating human rights. La, la, this, la, la, that. These people are running away from here. What are they going to do? Where are they going to go? Oh, my God, they're going to get killed in their own country. No, they're not. Stop with the victimization and romanticizing the migration, because you live out of that. And your language barrier of defense that is creating hysteria, fear mongering, creating hysteria, fear mongering, conspiracy theorists, white supremacists, white imperialists, xenophobic, transphobic, homophobic, pronophobic, fatphobic, racist, fascist, narcissist, bigot, Zionist, violence, disinformation, all of the language that you use. And now that somebody wants to come in and cut that, immediately you want to attack him. Why? Because, oh my God, he's going to close it. Oof, that's not looking good for us, John. It's not looking good for us, Dorothy. We need to just do another manifesto of information and say that they're violating human rights. That's what we need to do. We need to do that, because if they close it, we're done. We're done. We're not even going to be able to continue. It's, my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to live out of? Oh my God, people are going to be, they're going to save their lives, but it's not going to be the way that we want to. It's exactly like that. I'm listening to you. My God, I'm listening to you through here and through here and through everywhere. You're just going to attack a man that wants to save lives, because the only ones that it can save lives, it is you. The problem, it is you, and the one that it can resolve the problem, it is you by removing you. Exactly like that. It has been like that all the time. And again, let me just put this audio right here. Another Barbara, again, another coffee. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Buy me a coffee is right there on the bottom of the link. If you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, thank you so much. So let me just read this article right here. It says, Panamanian new elected conservative president on Sunday, former public security minister Jose Raul Mulino, who promised to close the Darien jungle pass to migrants, could affect Venezuelan and other families here in South Florida. Why it could affect families in South Florida? Why? Do you know why? Look how cynical this article is, and look how cynical the statements of this audio it is going to sound. I don't know who this is, but it's going to say it is going to affect people in Florida. What the hell? Closing the Darien Gap, how is it going to affect those people? Because you got family members that they're waiting for them. So this is a business now. It is now, it's you, and it's you. It is not xenophobic. It is you're putting people through the Darien so they can get to the United States. So that is your pathway. I have been there 4 times. That is not a pathway. That's not a safe migration route. But you're regularizing this conduct. Listen to this audio. It's just incredible, the last parts of this audio. It's just unbelievable. This audio, when I listened to it, I was like, holy cow, when it says about Florida. I was like, how closing the Darien, it is going to affect Florida? How? And look what it says right here.
This is WLRN News. I'm Tim Padgett. Panama elected a new right-wing president on Sunday, and he promises one plan that could affect families here in South Florida. Jose Raul Mulino was originally right-wing former President Ricardo Martinelli's running mate, but Martinelli was recently convicted on corruption charges stemming from his first presidency. So Mulino took over the ticket and won Sunday's election with more than a third of the vote, 10 percentage points ahead of his nearest rival. Will Freeman, a Central America expert at the nonprofit Council on Foreign Relations, told WLRN Panamanians elected Mulino because their economy today is in bad shape.
Now, the Martinelli years are far enough away that people remember the years of economic growth, and the memories of the bad parts, the corruption, have worn away a bit.
But one Mulino campaign pledge could affect South Florida. He wants to close off Panama's Darien Jungle Pass to migrants heading to the U.S., among them migrants from economically collapsed Venezuela. Freeman, though, doesn't believe it will happen.
I can't see how that would be possible. Right now, the status quo is for the Panamanian government to keep people in camps and then bus them to the border with Costa Rica.
No, it's not.
I think
No, it's not. Who are you, Freeman? You're lying. The status quo of the of the government of Panama, they created a campaign that says, Darian, it is not a route. You're massively pushing people with your NGOs and your global compact on migration, and you're not exposing the Clan del Golfo and the cartel on the other side of Colombia, and you're massively pushing people to the jungle so they can arrive to Panama, and Panama doesn't have another option but to keep them mass migration in their territory. No, they're not. Their status quo is not that. They happen publicly. The Minister of Security, the Director of Immigration, the Director of Senafront, the Director of Communications, all of the government of Panama on the past administration has been openly saying, Darian, it is not a route, it is a jungle. The status quo is not to keep them. It's to save lives and to attack narco-terrorism on the other side. This is a lie. And how closing the Darien, it is going to affect Florida. For God's sake, it is going to help because people are not going to die. Don't you understand, you freaking, my God, you freaking liberals, man. Freaking progressive, mercenary, activist, communist, socialist, Marxist liberals. Holy cow. My God. How is it going to help opening up to Darien for them to get all the way to Florida? Jesus Christ. Have you ever been in the Darien Gap and walked that? Do you know how that is? Because I have been there 4 times, and I know that that is the worst nightmare of every human being. Not only that, I have walked more than 11 caravans on the south of Mexico, and I have seen the suffering of people walking through borders, walking through trafficking spots, putting your life on the line and risking your life. It is not a safe pathway. You crazy, dumb people, the ones that are promoting this. Holy crap. Amazing how they just want to say it could affect Florida. How in the hell it's going to affect Florida? How it is going to affect Florida? Have you seen how many lives they have lost inside of the Darien Gap? Have you seen how many people have been assaulted? How many people have died on multiple mudslides? How many children have drowned in the rivers? Have you ever, and I'm just saying this to you, have you ever gone into Darien and carried a child through a river saving him? Because I have. You haven't. And regularizing this conduct by attacking a new president that wants to close this route to create a better pathway. I don't know how they're going to create it, but they're going to. Instead of promoting their business, and their business is going to end. I'm just telling you, if the next administration of the United States of America, it is not Biden, the business in the Darien Gap, it is going to end. I'm just telling you, this is what Hayes has said multiple times before. My God, if Biden doesn't win, we need your support because we need you to vote for Biden, because if you don't vote for Biden, we're not going to be able to continue, because they know that it's going to end. Their business is done. The first thing that the other candidates, they already talked about it. Kennedy, that is an independent, and also Trump, they have talked about it, that the first thing that they're going to do is secure the border. That means getting out of the global compact on migration, cutting the funding to these NGOs, that they're profiting out of human misery, investigating and prosecuting the NGOs, which they are in cahoots with the cartel and profiting out of human misery, and prosecuting all the people that they're part of this enormous trafficking. So they know that immediately, if somebody else that is not Biden gets in the office, this business, it is done. It's closing. It's closing. One little thing about this president, Molino, the first person that he called, and this brings me like, oh my God, like a light of hope. The first person that he called politically was President Bukele. Nayib Bukele of El Salvador was the first president that he called to say, I am here. I want to work with you. I want to find a way to create a better pathway. I want to find a way to make a safer country. Possibly he's talking to him about, how the strategy of how to attack the organized crime and how to fight the organized crime and ultimately create a better economy for the country. Not only that, Bukele already promised to go when he's going to be elected in. So crazy? Yes, it is crazy, people. This is your NGOs. Your NGOs that they're funded out of the American taxpayer, not about nobody else. The American taxpayer is funding these NGOs, which they are profiting like a mother, man. You're not going to keep me quiet with that because that is a cruel reality. Cruel reality. They're profiting out of human misery. And it is a factual truth. It is a factual truth. We cannot be closing our eyes and be blind about this. Stop with this. Stop with your thinking that you funding these people and giving money to these people is going to help other people. No, it is a human business. It is a global, I put something in and it goes in and it comes back and it goes in and it comes back. It is a business for them. And now that this guy that, is a new elected president, for Panama. Now he puts an idea about closing the Darien Gap and ultimately trying to shut down the Darien Gap. Now they're attacking him. Why? Because they know that it's going to affect their pockets. God bless you, Chuck. Love you, Chuck. God bless you. I saw you today on CBN, by the way. Or I think it was Newsmax. I don't know. I think it was CBN. I saw you today. I was watching you, man. You think I don't watch you? I watch you, man. I watch my mentor all the time. God bless you. Follow Chuck Holton, The Hot Zone with Chuck Holton. It's unbelievable, man. We need to understand. We need to understand where the problem is. And I have said this multiple times. The real problem is who created this problem. And who created this problem? The UN. With their global idea of migration. Look what Ireland is going on right now. I just put you on the screen. Ireland protesting. Ireland protesting because they want checkpoints. Massive protests because they don't want mass migration anymore. And it is not that they don't want migrants. All these people, they know that they're migrants themselves. The Irish migrated to the United States. They're migrants themselves, but they know that it's a disaster because the NGOs and the United Nations have been incapable and incompetent to control the migration with their humanitarian global compact on migration. It has been completely the opposite of being human. It has been completely inhuman. People dying, people suffering, people being abused, traffickers, the cartel growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, profiting. My God, there's some TikTok, there's some videos of people promoting how they're hammering the wall, how they're cutting the wall, and everybody commentating how much. It's an undeniable hit. This has grown the cartel into a 300% power because now that they have money, you're giving them money, you're giving them more money for artillery, more money for technology, more money to win territory. And now you have people that they are working on social media, right? So these people that they're working on social media, immediately they're promoting the routes and they're like, hey, promote the video. And everybody's commentating. Oh, I want to go through there. My God, how much? Unbelievable. It's a business. The sad thing about it, and not talking about, Molino now, talking about and emphasizing before I go to the surfers that they were sadly killed in Ensenada. Before I go to that, the most craziest thing about this is, what is the United States going to do in the next administration? If Biden is not elected, let me just tell you, whoever comes into office, if it is Kennedy or if it is Trump, both of them, they have the same ideas of getting out of the compact and regulating migration and making migration a right, but legally, right? Documented with the process and all this kind of stuff. Whatever. The problem is going to be here, people. How the organized crime and the cartel is going to react. That is going to be a problem. How they are going to react. Because these people are not your normal average people. They're terrorists. So these people are not going to talk to you like, you know what? Let's just close the borders. What do you think they're going to do? And by the way, it's not closing the borders, it's secure the borders. But what do you think they're going to do? How you are going to provoke something. And they know you open a window. This is what the biggest mistake of Joe Biden was, to open the window to the organized crime for them to do whatever the hell they want. And you open the window to give power to the NGOs for them to have power to fight against you with money now for lawyers, money and connections. Everybody's bought off. How far away are your elected politicians in your borders as corrupt as, as the Mexican corrupt politicians? How far of difference are they? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want to give thank you to Cynthia for buying me a coffee. Thank you so much, Cynthia. Thank you for buying me a coffee. Buy me a coffee is right there, pinned on the chat on YouTube. If you guys like to contribute for my independent reporting and travel fund, buy me a coffee is right there. I'm much appreciated of that, man. Thank you so much. God bless you. I see your comments, but I'm explaining. So your comments sometimes are topics that are not related to what I'm talking about. So if you're putting down something that is not related to what I'm talking about, it's a total disrespect to the audience if I mislead the topic from putting attention to your comment that it has nothing to do with what I'm talking about and then going back to what I'm talking about. It's just, let's take to the topic. I'm just saying. So, this is the problem right now. Coffee. This is a good coffee. Miel and cacao. Real good coffee. Mocha. Like mocha, man. Coffee. Good coffee. I like it. The problem is that I'm going to stay up the whole night. So this is what happened. Sadly, man. This is sad. This is so sad. And it is sad because these are 4 young men that they wanted to come to Ensenada to surf. Look how handsome these guys are, man. Look how handsome these guys are, man. Look at this. This is so sad. So sad. Look how handsome these guys are. So sad, man. So the story is 4 surfers came, 3 surfers, but there was another body that they found. 3 surfers came to Baja. They were 2 of them were Australian, but they live in San Diego. That's the story. And apparently, the statements from the minister of security, what they have said is that they came in. The story has said that they came into Ensenada. They rented out a place really far away. They really wanted to catch the whole vibe, the whole surf vibe. They really wanted to go to a random random place. Yes, two of them Australian and one from the U.S. Yes, they wanted to go a really random place, and I have surfed in the parts of Punto 38 and all those places. I surfed before when I was young there, but they went a little bit way far in, man, into Ensenada, into a place that it was really random. There was no communication whatsoever, and they had a white pickup truck. So apparently, they came in there, they assaulted them, they wanted to steal their car. And what they say, the explanation is that the guys did not want to get robbed, so they fought them over a little bit, and one thing led to another. And sadly, they took away their lives. They were found at a ditch, a really deep hole. Their bodies were found there. Apparently, one shot to the head. That's what happened. And they burned all the evidence. They wanted to burn the car. The car was completely destroyed. And this is what happened. This is sad, man. This is sad. And there has been multiple protests in Ensenada and in Baja for the surfers. Because there's a huge surfing population over here from the U.S. and a huge population of surfers from Baja, man. It's huge. And it's a brotherly surfing family when it comes to the locals from Baja and the locals from the U.S. I have surfed before. This is why it's so interesting for me, this story. And, you know, it's a huge family when you have Americans coming to surf over here. And it's all about respect, and they respect the surfing community. You know, they come to the local spots and they ask, and they want to see if they can come in and surf for a little while and, you know, catch some waves. It's a beautiful, you know, brotherly, you know, surfing community, man. And this is tragic. This is really tragic, man. Really tragic, extremely tragic. And this is what happened. So they let me read the article so I can be more accurate. So this is written by James Gregory and Tiffany Turnbull from BBC News. It says 3 tourists found dead in Mexico were shot in the head and their bodies dumped in a well. Authorities have confirmed. Officials believe the men were attacked trying to stop the theft of their pickup truck. Australian brothers Jake and Colin Robinson, 30 and 33 years old. Man, freaking A, man. So freaking young, man. And their American friend, Jack Carter Road, 30, man. Jesus, how young. So sorry. Let's pray for them. Disappeared on the 27th of April while a surfing trip in Ensenada. Relatives of the 3 men identified their bodies on Sunday after traveling to Mexico to assist authorities, a state prosecutor said. The attackers wanted a vehicle for its tires and shot the 3 tourists. When they resisted, Baja California State Prosecutor Maria Andrade suggested the bodies were found in a 4-meter, 15-foot deep well about 6 kilometers, 4 miles from the site of the attack in a town of Santo Tomas on Friday. It's a really random town. I've been there. Abandoned tents and a burnt white pickup truck and a phone linked to the missing surfers were found nearby. A 4th body was found in the well, but had been there longer and was unconnected. Wow. To the case, officials said. 2 men and a woman have been detained on suspicion of direct or indirect involvement in the attack. 1 man with a previous criminal record has been charged with forced disappearance. Earlier, the FBI said it was looking into the case and it was in touch with international partners. Baja California is one of Mexico's most violent states as local drug gangs fight turf wars. Guess why they fight the turf wars? Guess why the cartel fights in the borders? Because you have an open border and the open border gaps. That is why. That's specifically why. The article says that. So after this, there were, multiple people that they wanted to protest, and they made all the surfers went over there, and they made statement, and these American and locals that they were basically making a ritual inside. And let me just hear these interviews for you guys to listen. Hopefully this will not be flagged. But let's listen to this minute interview. So I don't believe that it's going to be flagged. So let's listen to it.
Normalmente quienes tenemos mujeres, miedo somos las mujeres, perdón. Y pues ahora sucedió con estos tres jóvenes hombres, ¿no? Entonces me siento más vulnerable, siento que estamos más vulnerables, ahora sí todos. Me da mucho impotencia, mucho enojo.
It's an unbelievable thing what this lady says, and she's right. Let me just put a better picture of her because possibly she's going to watch this video. Let me see if that is better. I think that's better. It's unbelievable what this lady says, and it's incredible. I will say why, because this is really important what she says right now. It says, normally, us women, we are the most vulnerable. We are the most that we feel insecure. Why? Because the women are the ones that they suffer the consequences of insecurity more in Mexico. But now it's completely different, she says. Now these men were taken away from their lives. It makes me feel more vulnerable now, because if they were attacked just going to surf, imagine what can happen to me. It's just so sad. It's so sad that that this is continuing. It's so sad that that this is happening. And it's so sad that it had to come to this. And these are young men. Man, this was so sad, man. It's let me just put the pictures again of these men. They're so, look at these men, man. Oh my God, man. Jesus. My God, man. And I just saw their profile on Instagram, and these were peaceful men, young men, healthy, handsome, working, good guys. Had their family, had their girlfriend, whatever it was. They were good guys. And because of tires of a pickup truck, they took away their lives. It's so, oh man, it just angers. It angers me into a point to say, man, for tires, you had to take away the lives of 3 young men. 3 young men. You took away the lives of 3 young men because they did not give you their tires of the pickup truck. And they fought off you that you were trying to steal from them. Imagine if they will do this for stealing just your tires. Imagine if they will offer to steal $50,000 from you. What will they be capable of doing? If they did this just for 4 tires and stealing from these young, healthy men, God bless their dear hearts, and God bless these young 3 men. Hopefully they're in the king of our Lord and Savior, in the kingdom of our Lord and Savior. But other than that, imagine if these inhuman, satanic men, they took away the lives of these good guys. They did this for 4 tires of a pickup truck. Imagine if they were offered, oh, they have $50,000. What else would they be able and capable of doing? This is why the organized crime and the cartel, they are terrorists. This is why I get so upset of people advocating for terrorist organizations and not understanding that all of these people that there are in organized crimes are terrorist organizations. Nothing else, nothing less, nothing else. It's sad. It's sad, man. Sad, sad, sad. And look how old they were, man. Jesus. One of them was 30. Australian brothers, Jake and Colin Robinson, 30 and 33. These two, man. Jeez. And their American friend, Jack Carter, man. 30. Holy crap. Jesus. Whew. So young. Look where they're located. So this is the actual location of Baja. This is where they live on Baja. They were on La Bocana. This is where the bodies were found in a well. The location of the attack. So they were really far from Ensenada. They were really far in there, man. They went really in there. They went really in there just to get the surfing experience. And sadly, it became the worst nightmare. It's heartbreaking. Yes, it is. And you know, and hopefully I pray to God that the authorities bring justice to their, to their families. I saw a video of them going to the forensic and recognizing the bodies, and I cannot fathom to think what they were going through. It's their mind at that particular moment. Man, Jesus. I was just like, wow, last time that they saw them, possibly it was like, Mom, I'm going to the surfing trip. Is going to be great. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a great time. Mom and Dad possibly saying, hey, be careful out there. It's dangerous. And, possibly the guy saying, hey, don't worry about it. We got it. We're okay. One thing led to another. And sadly, this is what happened. And, it pisses you off that we have become such an insecure state. And you're right. There's a comment right here. It's a comment, but I'm just saying we have been a really insecure state for the longest time. But this is a comment that is actually accurate. It's also, but we're not safe anywhere anymore. It's what, yes, it is. Somebody saying, how is this any Americans' fault? Who's blaming Americans? And by the way, America is a continent. It's not a country, but you're referencing to the United States of America. And you're saying this did not happen in Mexico. So you're just coming in. So, what I suggest is that you will learn what I'm talking about. And these were 2 Australians and 1 American citizen that they lived in the United States of America in California, and they traveled on a surfing trip to Baja, California, and they were murdered and assaulted. Who is blaming Americans for this? Who is doing that? I just want to know where your thoughts are. This has nothing to do with Biden. I'm going to leave the comment alone because it is going to get me upset. But God bless you. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. 54 minutes going in. I can address a couple of comments and a couple of questions. Thank you, and thank you for joining in. Let me just remove this, and I will talk to you guys. How's everybody doing? Buy Me a Coffee is right there. Pin on the chat. If you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, buy me a coffee. It is right there, and your support, it is well much needed. So thank you so much. There's a couple of people, Cynthia and Barbara, that they have donated coffees. And ultimately, thank you, and thank you for everything that is that you guys are supporting. So I'm not even going to get into this comment because it's just one thing has nothing to do with the other one. So just leave it alone. I will address your comment if you guys want to give a shout out before I go. We got 5 minutes. Actually, we got 4 minutes before I end this live feed. United States of America, Oscar. You literally call Americans Americans, Oscar. America is shortening the United States of America to just America. That's how we speak. Instead of saying 4 words, we shorten it. Yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying, America, it is a continent. It's not a country. I'm just saying. Or am I lying? If Biden was tougher on the cartels, then would be a possibility that they will be alive. Maybe they are thinking about it that way. Well, this has nothing to do with Biden. It's to do with the insecurity that is in our side ultimately. And Biden, it is part of the problem of what's happening to the United States of America. So I believe Biden needs to go. Inevitably, it needs to go. Needs to go now. There's no other way. Richard French. Oscar, I'm still waiting to exchange passports with you. Canada has some surf bots and tampon. Turtle likes to swim with fishes. Thank you so much. I'll wait till what's his name, Trudeau leaves the government, man. I'll wait. If I don't know what I got to put on my passport if I go over there, man. If I got to put gender fluid or something like that, possibly. If I do that, they will accept me. If I don't, they will not. So. How the elections are looking in Mexico? Well, we had a couple of we have had a debates, and it's between just these two ladies, which I believe the two of them are bad candidates for our country of Mexico. One of them a left-wing, progressive political candidate, Claudia Sheinbaum, which she has the majority of the possibilities of winning, and the other one is Xochitl Galvez, which she won the past two, I think, debates. But she doesn't have the capabilities or capacities. The only thing that she has is her group of people that she has working with her. It is much smarter, less corrupt than the other one of the left wing, progressive, candidate. So it's looking at the way it is. There's an independent whose name is Minus, which he's just a clown and staying in the middle. But just to divide the vote. But ultimately, that is where we're going. We got elections all the way to July. Let's see how that goes. Let's see how that transforms, and let's see how that goes. But the power, it is going to be, exchange all the way to January. So the president, still AMLO, it is going to continue to be president all the way to December of 2024. 2025, it is going to be the start of the new president. That's how it used to be. I don't know if they're going to change it. Last comment. Buy Me a Coffee is right there again for people who want to contribute. Thank you so much. Well, God bless you. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you, thank you, and thank you. It has been a pleasure talking to you guys tonight about these three topics: Ireland, the protest against mass migration. Ultimately, also, we talked about the new Panamanian president, and also we talked about these surfers that they took away their lives on an average vacation that they took to Mexico. Man, it's just so sad. And I live over here in Tijuana, so that's why it gets me so upset that I know a lot of the surfing community in our state. So I used to surf when I was young, and I know a lot. And I know that this is going to put a huge mark of insecurity to all the people that they want to go and have just a normal weekend, just go to surf. Man, it's going to be I don't know, bad in a way. But have a good night, have a great night, have a good night, have a great night. Lord, thank you so much for another day. Thank you so much for letting us breathe, letting us think, letting us feel, letting us walk, letting us touch, letting us talk, letting us think, letting us feel with our hearts and love with our hearts. Take away all the anger, Lord. You're the only one that it can bring us love today into our world. Please, Lord, save those children that they are walking through that Darien Gap, those women, those men. Help them, Lord, and guide them to the light to not use that pathway. Help us, Lord, to fight the traffickers and the people that are taking advantage of the most vulnerable. Enlight our politicians, Lord, for them to be more smart and to take the decisions for the good of the well and the people, not for the good of the well or their pockets. Help us, Lord, to end poverty and to also help that man that is about to be putting a needle on his hand. Stop him, Lord, from using and being an addict. Help him to see the light of you and to feel your heart and to feel your compassion so they can understand that that is not the pathway of life. Help us, Lord, to become better men and better women. Bring your name, Lord, into every school and every college, not only in Mexico, but around the world, and also ultimately where the country that is being attacked right now, Lord, that is the United States of America. It is you, Lord, that needs to come back to that country. You and only you. You're the one that is going to cure that country and bring back that country to light. In Jesus' name, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. God bless you. Thank you so much. Have a blessed night. And like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission.